Bio was a well-known fisherman in a small African village, celebrated far and wide for his unmatched fishing skills, but even more so for his boundless love for his daughter, Amira. Every morning, before the first light of dawn kissed the horizon, Bio would rise, place a gentle kiss on his sleeping daughter's forehead, and set out in his small wooden boat. Amira was Bio's only child, the very essence of his joy and the light of his life. Amira had lost her mother long ago, and from that moment, it had always been just the two of them, father and daughter, inseparable. Bio taught Amira everything he knew about the sea. Often she would follow him to the shore, sitting on the beach with her tiny feet buried in the sand, waiting eagerly for her father's boat to appear on the horizon. She would wave wildly, her laughter ringing through the salty air as he returned with his catch. One day, when Amira was just 6 years old, her curiosity burned brighter than ever. "Papa, can I follow you to fish today?" she pleaded, her big bright eyes sparkling with excitement. Bio hesitated. He knew the dangers of the sea, but one look at Amira's big brown eyes and eager face melted his resolve. "Okay, my little fish," he whispered, brushing her cheek, "but you must promise to be very careful and do exactly as I say." Amira nodded eagerly, and the next morning they set out together. The sea greeted them with calm waters and a clear sky. As they sailed to the heart of the ocean, Bio began teaching Amira how to cast a net and set a hook. She squealed with joy when they caught their first fish, her laughter blending with the gentle lull of the waves. Everything seemed perfect, until it wasn't. Without warning, the sky darkened, clouds swallowing the sun whole. The wind howled and the waves grew restless. Bio's instincts screamed at him. They had to return to shore. He grabbed the oars, fighting to turn the boat, but a monstrous tide surged through the ocean, crashing over them with brutal force. It happened so fast. When the sea finally calmed, Bio gasped for air, clinging desperately to the edge of the boat, but Amira was gone. "Amira!" he screamed, his voice tearing through the storm's aftermath. There was no answer. Bio dove into the water again and again, frantically searching. He called Amira's name until his throat burned and his limbs gave out, but the ocean remained silent, vast, and merciless. Amira had vanished without a trace. Bio returned to the village broken. He rallied the villagers and a search party was conducted. The villagers searched the sea for days, but there was nothing. It was as if Amira had vanished, swallowed whole by the unforgiving sea. Days bled into weeks. Bio abandoned fishing. He spent every waking moment walking the shoreline, eyes locked on the horizon. At night, he swam out into the black abyss of the ocean, hoping, praying, to find his daughter, but there was nothing. Guilt consumed him like fire. If only he had said no. If only he had protected her. The villagers pitied him. They tried to comfort him, but Bio pushed them all away. He refused to believe Amira was truly gone. Somewhere, somehow, his little girl was still out there. One night, as Bio sat on the beach, staring at the waves, wallowing in his sorrow, an old man approached him. His name was Papa Essi, a village elder known for his wisdom and knowledge of ancient tales. "Bio," he said softly, lowering himself beside the grieving father, "I know your pain is great, but you must find a way to live." Bio shook his head. "How will I live without my Amira?" he whispered, his voice barely audible over the crashing waves. Papa Essi sighed, his eyes filled with pity. "Let me tell you a story," he said, "a story about the people who live beneath the waves." He spoke of the Mer people, mystical beings said to dwell in the deepest parts of the ocean. "They can breathe both in water and on land," Papa Essi whispered, "and some say they have the power to return those lost to the sea." Bio's heart hammered in his chest. For the first time in months, he felt a spark of hope. "Is this true? Can these Mer people bring back my Amira?" he asked, desperation lacing his every word. Papa Isa's expression darkened. "I do not know. he admitted. "These are only rumors," the old man cautioned. "And even if they are true, the Mer people are not to be trifled with. They are as dangerous as they are powerful. No one dares trespass into their territory." But Bayo was no longer listening. His mind spun with possibilities. If there was even the slightest chance of getting Amira back, he had to try. Obsessed, Bayo devoured every scrap of knowledge he could find. He questioned travelers, asking questions about their knowledge of the Mer people, and if there had been any trace of them in the previous years. Every day Bayo watched the waves with unwavering intensity. His relentless search grew more desperate by the day, and soon the villagers began to worry. They whispered about his obsession and his excessive grief. Bayo's once strong body withered, his eyes became wild and sunken with exhaustion. He neglected his fishing, his home, himself. Caught up in his determination to find Amira, Bayo soon began venturing into the forbidden parts of the sea, the very waters no one dared enter. Day and night he sailed farther and farther, pushing beyond the boundaries of reason. But there was nothing, only the endless expanse of the ocean stretching out like an eternal, unfeeling void. Then, one fateful evening, Bayo was exhausted. He was about to return home again, after an endless, unfruitful search, when suddenly he began to hear a strange melody. It was like singing, but more beautiful than any human voice he had ever heard. The sweet melody was unlike anything else. Bayo began to follow the melody, stumbling over rocks and through the crashing waves. And there, in a small tidal pool hidden among the rocks, he saw her. A small creature, no bigger than Amira had been, with pale blue skin and long flowing hair, but where legs should have been there was a shimmering fishtail. The creature was caught, helpless in a net. What Bayo heard as a sweet melody was actually the mermaid crying out for help. She had swum too far away beyond her home, and now she was trapped in the net. Bayo's heart pounded. A mermaid child. His prayers had been answered. Filled with desperation, he seized the opportunity without fear. He lunged forward and carried the little mermaid. The mermaid trashed in his arms, her tail slashing against his legs as Bayo walked out of the sea, but Bayo held on tight. "You'll bring her back," he muttered, his eyes wild. "You'll bring my Amira back," he said with deep resolve. As Bayo scurried out of the ocean, the cries of the frightened little mermaid echoed through the sea. She was crying for help, but Bayo could not hear her. All he heard was the sweet melody that came from the little mermaid. He folded her in a blanket and hurried to his house. When Bayo got home, he quickly locked all his doors and windows to prevent anyone from knowing what he had found. He placed the mermaid in a small wooden water pot so she could breathe. By this time, Bayo could see the mermaid's anguish and pain, but Bayo's mind was too focused on his goal to feel sympathy. "Now," he said, "you will bring back my Amira." The mermaid child looked at him with wide, frightened eyes. "I don't understand," she said, her voice bubbling like waters over rocks. "Who are you? Where am I? I want to go home." Bayo blinked in surprise. He hadn't expected the mermaid to speak his language. "You're here to help me," he said. "My daughter Amira was taken by the sea. You're going to bring her back." The mermaid child shook her head. "I can't do that. I don't have that type of power. I am only a child. Please, let me go back to my family." But Bayo wouldn't listen. He was convinced that this creature was the key to reuniting with Amira. He spent the next days trying to persuade the mermaid, then threaten, and then eventually begging her to use her magic. Bayo begged the mermaid to show mercy on his little Amira, but the mermaid remained silent. Days turned into weeks, and yet Bayo refused to give up. He would get fresh seawater from the ocean at night and change the mermaid's water daily, bringing her fish to eat, but she would reject them. Soon, Bayo began to share more than just asking back for his daughter from the little mermaid. He began to share stories of the happy days he had once shared with his little Amira, how beautiful she was, how they would fry the fishes he caught together, he told the mermaid of Amira's laughter, her big brown eyes and her gentle smile. Then he began to tell the mermaid more than just about Amira. He told her of his life, he told her stories of the village and about life as a human man. The mermaid could understand Bayo's pain. "Did you love your daughter very much?" she asked him. "More than my own life," Bayo replied sadly. The mermaid's fear had now turned into pity. She knew now that this human who kidnapped her was not an evil being, but just a lonely man suffering from deep sadness. Akira told Bayo of her father and mother and her two sisters. She told him of the beautiful gardens in her city and all the colorful fishes that were her friends in the ocean. With her words, Bayo found himself smiling. Having fishes he always haunted as food as friends sounded quite funny to him, but Akira just kept smiling and sharing more with Bayo. Bayo did not realize he was smiling. It was the first time in over a year that his lips had curled up into a smile. Akira noticed. "You have a nice smile," she said. "You should do it more often." Bayo's smile vanished as quickly as it had come. "I haven't had much reasons to smile," he said gruffly. Akira looked at him with her large, pearlescent eyes. "I'm sorry about your daughter," she said softly. "In my city we have a saying. The sea gives and the sea takes away, but love flows eternal like the tides." Bayo felt a lump in his throat. "What does that mean?" he asked. "It means that even though the ocean might take someone we love, the love we feel for them never goes away. It's always there like the tides, coming and going but never truly leaving." Bayo sat in silence for a long time after that, thinking about Akira's words. For the first time since Amira's death, he allowed himself to really feel the love he felt for his daughter and not just the pain of losing her. As the weeks turned into months, a slow change began to take place in Bayo. He began to smile once again. He began to take care of himself again, washing and eating again. He began to live once again. But as a ray of light began to shine into his life bit by bit, Bayo knew one thing, that he had to return Akira back to where she belongs. He sat in his dimly lit room one night and released everything. All the pain, all the guilt he felt over Amira. And for the very first time since Amira passed away, Bayo cried, letting it all out. And when he was done, he knew what he was going to do next. The next day, he carried Akira back to the ocean. As Bayo walked into the waters, he could feel the ocean sweep underneath his feet. When he could no longer feel the land under his legs, he let Akira gently back into the ocean. "Will you be able to find your way back?" Bayo asked gently. "The ocean is my home," Akira replied softly. "I will find my way." And with a final wave of her hand, Akira swam into the deep, never to be seen again. But as she swam deep into the darkness, she carried with her a friendship found, that she would remember for the rest of her life. Bayo returned to the village a changed man. Though the ocean did not give him back his daughter, it had left him with a different kind of gift, a changed heart. And Bayo learned a big lesson that in life sometimes we lose the things that are most important to us, but these losses should not define us. What matters most is how we carry on and how we keep the memories and the love that never stops, just like the tides, but endures in our hearts. This story reminds us that grief and losses are inevitable parts of life, but they should not define or consume us. True healing comes not from clinging to the past, but from embracing love in all its forms, love that, like the tides, may ebb and flow but never truly disappears. Letting go is not forgetting. It is the act of honoring those we have lost by continuing to live, love, and find meaning in what remains. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and share your thoughts on this story. Until we meet again, stay blessed and I'll see you in our next story.